blessed morning to everyone, and welcome to day 2 of the Caribbean Studies Association's conference here on St. Croix, the cultural capital of the Virgin Islands. Boop, 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 boop. I am so grateful to be able to have our bambula drummers and dancers and folklore griots, Raskibo, and the illustrious, sometimes quiet, Bambula Queen, multi-generational, native Virgin Islander, Allegra Christopher! We've elected to do a very organic session because we know we've had some persons that have had delays, whether it's from health reasons, travel delays, or maybe they just overslept, I don't know. But the intention is so that we can use this time to just kind of go through the room and just get some reflections on things that are about transforming our Caribbean. Nothing long. You could save that for the presentation that happens a little later. We have a very full schedule. So a lot of times when you see certain people flurrying around looking a little harried, just kind of blow some energy. We love you. We care about you. We respect you. We know you're going through stuff. Maybe you don't have to say, because you already can tell. But just let's focus on light, and let's focus on some love, and let's focus on that positive energy that we can bring together. I want to highlight a celebration that we do have copies of the inaugural CSA peer-reviewed journal, Caribbean Conjectures. Woo! And these will be available at the Secretariat. Just don't roll up on me, because I don't deal with all of that business portion, yeah? But I think it's important to know that this is actually a double issue, right? And it's taken several years through hurricanes, because here in the Virgin Islands, we were subjected to 2 Category 5 hurricanes in 2017. And we're still reeling from that. And then in 2020, the world changed, right? Between a global pandemic that we're still struggling through. And then we have so much terrorism and warfare and antagonisms and more stuff that we're still kind of catching ourselves. So to be able to even speak about transforming our Caribbean is amazing and a blessing, yeah? And those of my brothers and sisters that are not into the spiritual part, no disrespect, we just ask you to just kind of roll with those of us that are for this time, right? So you'll hear a lot of things. You'll hear the drums. You'll hear the conch shell, right? And I want to make sure that I highlight, I'm going to keep saying it, marketing. Marketing. For us to continue, we need your support. In order for us to be able to keep this journal moving forward, it cannot only be the Virgin Islands Caribbean Cultural Center here at the University of the Virgin Islands that finances the entire publication. Did you hear that? Right? So it's important, whatever institution you represent, whatever corporation that you represent, we need contributions, yes, to CSA, of course, but make sure that you allocate a portion to the continuation of this peer-reviewed, exceptional CSA journal, all right? I'm just putting that out there so the people are very clear. What we're gonna do this day, for this next 20 minutes to 25 minutes, because we do have sessions starting in the next half hour, and we don't want to interfere with that. I want you, and you'll see me walking around, and I'm going to be putting the mic in your face, and I'm going to be asking you, share that short reflection on how we transform our Caribbean, because that's what we're doing in this segment, transforming our Caribbean, part 2. And there's going to be part 3 tomorrow, and part 4 the next day, and part 5, so that when we leave from here, we have, what did we say yesterday? Actionable deliverables. Let's say it together. Actionable deliverables. So we actually have something to say, okay, I did this presentation. Yes, add that to my vitae, my resume, CV. I can use this for my upgrade and my tenure at my respective institution of higher education. How does this help the communities that we serve? How does this help these young people that we claim that we're doing succession planning for? We got everyone clear on the assignment? And if English is not your first language, say it in a language that's comfortable. I want to make sure that we say that as well. I'm gonna start with my program chair, Megan Sylvester.
Good morning, everyone. All right, as Dr. Chen indicated, I am Megan Sylvester, the program chair for this year's CSA 2023. My reflection on transforming the Caribbean. It would be remiss of me if I didn't speak about this conference as a way of participating in the transformation of the Caribbean. And you know, as we got together a year ago to plan and to think about and conceive the idea of how we were really going to operationalize this conference with this theme that we came up with, we thought about different ways in which we could have the sub-themes, which we could have different types of persons from different parts of the diaspora, different parts of the Caribbean, getting an opportunity to share on the particular sub-themes. And so our vision for transforming the Caribbean is to situate CSA 23 in St. Croix, in particular, given this particular time, all right, in the history of the island and in what's going on in the world, post-pandemic, etc., and also to incorporate the type of themes. And we're so pleased that we have had a diverse array of presenters thus far with day one. And as we planned the program, we realized that people were coming from all parts of the world, so even outside of the diaspora, to contribute to this transforming of the Caribbean. So that is my immediate reflection on how this theme has been operationalized. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. And Dr. Cooper, shall you share a reflection with us as the seasoned elder? You're not going to rub in this 45 years, you know. I have to rub in this 45 years at one institution. It don't change the name from College of the Virgin Islands to University of the Virgin Islands, and you still there. Oh, okay. Did I say? Round of applause. Whoop, whoop. Can you give me 60 seconds?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll discipline myself.
You'll discipline yourself. Thank you so much, Dr. Cooper.
All right. Good morning. I just would like to report that as a life member, I've been with this organization for the past 39 years, and I have seen it grow. I've seen it have its difficulties and challenges, and let us give thanks that we have stalwarts who have stuck to the task and kept the organization going. There are times when we have really run into some serious road bumps. There are times where we have come close to eclipse, but we are still here, and we plan to move forward. So let us give ourselves a round of applause for being here.
Thank you very much. And shall I stop here? Can I know where I can stop? Okay, can I come to you? May I? Well, I'm just saying, look, don't make me beg. I could drop to the knees, you know, but I don't want to drop to the knees. You ready? I'm asking you, illustrious Queen Mother Claudette Audrey Young Hines of Hines Unlimited. This is a real planner. This isn't somebody that we just give the job to. She actually has degrees and credentials in planning. You know how sometimes we have people with jobs that they call planner and they don't have, okay, say it nicely.
Good morning. Short and sweet, transforming the Caribbean, transforming the world. Transforming the Caribbean has got to start with each and every one doing the very difficult and consistent work of dealing with your internalized oppression. Everything starts from there. The way we treat each other, the way we plan our economy, all of that. And that internalized oppression is not limited to people of African descent. Okay? Everybody got their own piece of very specific oppression. Deal with it. Secondly, envision creatively, envision bigger than you could imagine envisioning. Plan strategically, and strategic planning is not a generic activity. It is a specific constellation of skills and activities to get you into the strategic management of that which you have envisioned. So you envision, you plan strategically, and then you implement with very specific responsibilities and timeframes, and come back and check what you did. Did you do it? Did you do it well? Did you do what you thought it was going to do? What else did it do? The goal of strategic planning is strategic management.
Thank you very much for that. Entonces, señora, ¿tú quieres hablar un poquito en español, por favor? Y French también? Would you be willing to just share some reflections?
I really want to say a few words. I'm a life member of the organization.
We got to give them applause.
And I was president of CSA in 2012. And my goal and objective has always been integrating, respecting, and diversifying. So I decided to go to Guadeloupe because this is not only an English-centered organization. We have many people in the Caribbean with different experience, different historical trajectory, and we have to be aware of that. And that means we cannot have no transformation without giving place to those people that do not necessarily have the same history. Thank you.
Can you say that in French?
Or in Creole.
Oh, Creole?
Yes. Bonjour, nom c'est Carole Charles. Moi son m'bareme à vie, m'bareme dit m'ba vie parce que Duvalier était président à vie. So Duvalier was a life president for life. So I don't like the term life experience, like member, because there is nobody that should be for life à vie in any organization. But part of in addition, je veux parler un petit peu en français, mais je vais être très courte en termes de présentation. Je suis un membre, ou une membre, gender, un membre de l'organisation à vie, mais j'aime pas le terme à vie. Parce que le terme life, for life, can be very static and not opening to change. En tout cas, je suis contente d'être ici avec Dr. Chen. C'est une expérience, on ajoute une expérience au développement de l'organisation. Il y a des gens tout à fait nouveaux ici, mais de toute façon, c'est ce que nous sommes. C'est la Caraïbe, ça représente toutes les tendances et tous les objectifs, et surtout les objectifs progressistes. On ne veut pas maintenir une hiérarchie ou continuer une situation de fait. On veut transformer parce qu'on veut des changements pour la majorité des gens dans la Caraïbe. Merci.
Thank you very much, Dr. Charles. I'm going around the room. I want to ask a young person, because she just was in my corner. Her mother ran away because I would have gone to her and she said no. But I know that Majestic Freedom will give us a few words, yes?
Sure. You can applaud for her. She's here on work.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Majestic. Can you repeat the question?
Transforming our Caribbean.
Okay. Well, I got to sit in on a little bit of one of the sessions because I've mostly been behind the desk scribbling away for dear life. But I would say that one way we can transform the Caribbean is by speaking in the language of the people, even in academic settings. Because sitting in on the cric-crac, I was learning different words in Haitian Creole and learning that the way that people that are doing the studies would pronounce or say certain things is different from the way that the people that the studies are about might say certain things. So it's important to know both, but speaking in the word of the people when you're teaching to a broader audience. Thank you.
Beautiful. And I can come to you now? I had to get permission. I just want to highlight, we've got 3 generations here. That's grandfather, this is daughter, and this is granddaughter, right? The Coopers.
Good morning. All right, so the question is about transforming the Caribbean, right? So,
Our. I want to make sure I make this very clear. Our, so it doesn't become the I. Even though I and I is good. Yeah.
we are wordsmiths, so we're going to take that and use it and innovate this. So watch this. So we're going to transform the Caribbean, because that's a capital T-H-E, and ours. Okay? Claro. All right, so I'm Dara Monifa Cooper. I'm here on behalf of the Sustainable Agriculture Research and Education Program, which is a program of the USDA. And I work in the Caribbean because we have to help to transform us. I'm hearing feedback. And the only way to do that, for me, is to Sankofa, is to go back to what we know worked. And specific to agriculture, that means the small gardens behind your homes, the small farms, the things that allow us to feed us. Talking food-wise, but I paused there because it's more than just food. Our sustainability definition stands for quality of life of us, the farmers, those who produce the food, as well as environmental sustainability, not damaging the earth while we feed from it, as well as economic profit. All of those have to work together, otherwise it's not sustainable. So you can use that and metaphorically transform it into whichever area you are about. But again, I'm here as a communications specialist from the Southern SARE program, so I'm going to focus on agriculture. So are there any other agriculturalists or related people in the room? I would like to share resources with you.
She's one of the baddest communication specialists, though. I want to say that, too. I'm really honored to be able to introduce this elder of our community who is a stalwart of all things culture. So I need to just take a second. I can't skip you. I can't skip you, Baba. I can't skip you, Baba. A retired senator of the Virgin Islands legislature, a long-time contributor to everything around cultural heritage education, historic preservation, and more. We have a state historic preservation office, and he won't claim it, but I know that he was instrumental to that agency still existing now, and departments of conservation affairs. I read your bio very well. In addition to being a heart historian, in addition to being a spiritual elder, so you'll hear me say Baba or Nana respectfully, and I'd like us to really give a resounding welcome, and I will always call him Baba Senator Myron Jackson.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Those of you that have come from near and far, it's a real pleasure to be here with you this morning. I'd like to follow up on the transformation of the Caribbean and our responsibility, as Dara stated, Sankofa. That has been my mantra for over 40 years. I first got introduced to Sankofa with my first visit to West Africa, Ghana, and became acquainted with the concept of Sankofa, and that transformed our cultural heritage in the Virgin Islands over the last 4 years, in that we adopted it as the symbol for our Virgin Islands Cultural Heritage Institute, and it comes out of the mouth of babes today as an affirmation of responsibility. Go back and fetch it, Sankofa. So I would charge all of you to go back to your respective communities and Sankofa. Go back and fetch it. It is so badly needed in so many aspects, especially for our young, that we transfer to them the knowledge, our oral history, our traditions, our belief systems, our understanding of the past, so that they can make connections to the present, and that likewise that it may live for a future generation. So I leave you with Sankofa. Go back and fetch it. Thank you, Dr. Chen.
Thank you, Baba. And then I get to go to another, since we're in an academic exercise conversation, we're going to go over here to a distinguished fellow, a president of the university, the president, since we have to get clarity, of the University of St. Martin. Let us welcome none other than Dr. Antonio Baez. Did you see how the voice changed? Did you get it? All right.
Buenos días, bonjour, good morning, bon dia, goedemorgen. Yeah, I think that for transforming our Caribbean, what is needed is institutional commitment to collaboration. And I think when I say institutional commitment, I believe in the commitment of universities, colleges, all institutions of higher education, tertiary education, to work together to define the priorities in research, in science and culture and the humanities. I believe that all universities in the Caribbean should make CSA their priority and their commitment. They're the number one go-to place, if you will, for coordinating research agendas so that we are interacting at an equal level. And I believe that agenda setting for research, setting priorities, is a discussion that we need to support throughout the entire Caribbean and diaspora. That's it.
Thank you, Dr. Antonio Baez. All right, and I'm picking on two more people. So, Genevieve, may I approach you? Because you are a dean of, I've known you to be in various institutions, and I know at one point you were at USM until that year of chaos, 2017. It was like, right? So if you would please just share some reflections on, and please identify so that I don't just say, she a dean, she awesome. I don't want to just say it like that.
Thank you. Good morning again, everyone. I'm Ginny Philip Durham. I'm the Dean of Humanities and Social Sciences at the University College of Cayman Islands. Prior to Antonio's arrival, I also worked at the University of St. Martin and closely with UVI, as you know. When I entered the room this morning, someone introduced themselves and told me that they were from Bonaire. And they were surprised to know that I knew where Bonaire was. So I think in terms of us transforming the Caribbean, I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, and for a long time we understood, at least I understood the Caribbean to be the CARICOM Caribbean. And now I have a much broader understanding of the Caribbean that I think we owe it to each other to learn about the Caribbean much more intimately and intricately than we have in the past. So I think that's the only way we can move ahead for our Caribbean and for our region.
Thank you. And introduce yourself so we know who you are and where you're from.
Bonjour tout le monde, je suis Walner Osna. Je suis doctorant en sociologie à l'Université d'Ottawa. Je suis haïtien. Je travaille sur les mouvements sociaux, l'accaparement des terres et la souveraineté alimentaire. Donc, mes thématiques de recherche sont issues de mes convictions à la fois politiques et idéologiques. Donc, pour l'instant, les questions de l'accaparement de terres posent des problèmes fondamentaux pour les Haïtiens et c'est un problème mondial aussi. Donc, c'est pour ça que je travaille sur ce sujet et je pense pouvoir contribuer à travers mes travaux à construire un monde meilleur. Merci.
That's why we're all going to be using that Duolingo. Great. May I? And it can be in your native language, it's fine. I'm putting Maurice Pindard on point because he's here from what people like to call French Guiana, which is more correctly Guyane. And I think it's really important because of his work around human rights, decolonization, reparatory justice, and more, that we just have him share a voice. Please, let's welcome our comrade and brother in struggle, Maurice Pindard.
Good morning, everybody. Yes, I am Maurice Pindard. I am a political militant activist in French Guyana, Guyane, Cayenne. We are colonized by France, and we are the last colony in South America. We are fighting to be free one day, and I'm very pleased to be with you, to know what's about the Caribbean more, because in our school, we only learn about Europe and France. And it's a very pleasure for me to come here and to see and to participate. And I am also working to transform the Caribbean and South America in direction of freedom for everybody, for our children coming. Thank you.
There you go. Because there's people watching this that are very concerned that it's only in English. So I'm trying to cover.
So you asked me to speak French?
Yes.
Okay. I used to speak French in the country because we are colonized by French.
Speak the language you desire.
Bon, je vais parler français si vous voulez. Je vais redire les mêmes choses que tout à l'heure. Donc, je suis un militant politique d'un mouvement de décolonisation, activiste. Et je viens de Guyane, capitale Cayenne, qu'on appelle couramment Guyane française. Mais moi, je préfère dire Guyane Cayenne, parce que Guyane française, ça veut dire qu'on est encore colonisé, et nous sommes colonisés par la France. Et donc, nous voulons un jour être décolonisés, voilà, et pouvoir participer dans tous les débats au niveau de la Caraïbe et de l'Amérique du Sud en tant que pays, en tant que peuple souverain. Voilà, donc je suis très content d'être avec vous. Et normalement, je crois que jeudi Thursday, I will have a presentation about my country for you to explain what's going on. Thank you.
All right, and then in my last 2 minutes, because I'm watching the production company and I want to clear my soul, I'm going to ask my illustrious sister, Ambassador Sister Dr. Sandra Richards of the world. I'm just going to say that. I'm just going to say of the world, because she is a global scholar and has always been about assessment and evaluation and research in a variety of areas. I'll leave that there.
Give thanks, President. I don't like to have my back turned to people. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. As academics, when we look at certain things like transforming our Caribbean, I think that we need to look beyond the paradigm given to us by Europe. Now, my accent betrays me, because unless I open my mouth, if I'm in Africa, people don't know if I'm from there. If I'm in Europe, people don't know if I'm from there. And when I come into the Caribbean geographical space, people don't know if I'm from here. And I think we have a responsibility to recognize that the Caribbean is beyond some geographical space. The space is inhabited by a global people. So there are Caribbean people all over the world who have contributed to everything. But unfortunately, sometimes we are colonized and captured by how we think and the paradigms and the borders and what we're allowed to think, how we're allowed to speak, how we should show up, and all those things determine whether the gatekeepers let us in. Indigenous peoples, Caribbean peoples, whichever tongue we use. And sometimes the tongue is from the colonizer, but sometimes there are legacies. We speak without the colonizer's language. We know how to communicate with each other in a non-verbal way. We use signs, symbols, and sounds, and vibrations. And this Caribbean is a global Caribbean. So there are children, there are generations of us waiting to hear what we as academics are going to do with our studies. Are we just going to become professors? Are we just on a career track? Or are we scholar activists? Are we really transforming our Caribbean? And what is the responsibility that each and every one of us has? Don't let it be for the older heads to miss the generations and to miss the nuances that are beyond the colonizer's language and our lazy tongue, because we have given up our indigenous languages and our non-verbal languages for languages of colonizers. Let us be legitimate and let us, what was our assignment? Actionable deliverables, so that we hold each other and ourselves to account. That's my reflection.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
And with that, this very informal yet formal gathering was just to get a piece, so we know we're moving into our concurrent sessions from 10:30 to 12 in the various areas. Just please check. If you have not acquired a program, just smile at them and just say pretty please. And they were delivered this morning. We want to thank VI Lottery Commission for that, and the Government Printing Office, Office of the Governor, RT Park, Medical Simulation Center. You see the list goes on. It's a very powerful list, right? The 175th Virgin Islands Commemoration, 175th Virgin Islands Emancipation Commemoration Committee, because our illustrious senator also was here in that capacity as well. So I just want to make sure I highlight that. But I want to just share a line that is inside the program booklet from the Dean of the College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences of the University of the Virgin Islands, Dr. Kimmery Ingerman. With great enthusiasm, I welcome you to the Albert A. Sheen campus of the University of the Virgin Islands as you gather in person for the first time since 2019 to participate in the 47th Annual Caribbean Studies Association Conference. I encourage you to celebrate your achievements, rekindle old and form new relationships, and learn as much as you can from colleagues in your respective fields. Moreover, this year's theme, Transforming Our Caribbean, listen to the whole theme: sustainable educational research, cultural creatives, sacred traditions, economic development, and environmental solutions, ensures that everyone's interest is addressed at this conference. Be open to expanding your knowledge and finding ways to expand your scholarship. And please look through your program for more details on the various sessions. Keep in mind that there are some sessions that you probably didn't know were still happening. Look at those as well. This is the part that always is shocking, because I've retired from the University of the Virgin Islands, right? A special congratulations and thank you to Dr. Chinzira Davis Kahina for her leadership, as well as to the other committee members for organizing this event. Thank you to all the speakers for sharing their knowledge and expertise. Did you hear that? Okay. I need to read that again. Thank you to all the speakers for sharing their knowledge and expertise. Also, thank you to the attendees for recognizing the value of this conference and making the time to attend. Sincerely, Dr. Kimmery Ingerman. Round of applause for Dr. Ingerman, please. And just really pretty program. I'm going to just do like the wave, just like that, right? We're very grateful for the support therein. And I would be remiss if I did not. She kept coming in and leaving out. So the sister that you see, the short haircut, wearing the medical uniform, is the director, Charlene Navarro. Again, facilitating this particular space here at the University of the Virgin Islands Medical Simulation Center. Round of applause for Director Navarro, please. And we're moving to our next session. Enjoy the day. There's an author celebration tonight from 6 to 8 at Company House. Please remember that. There's an author celebration at Company House, 6 to 8. Those that don't want to go to Company House. And there's another young lady that I just saw really visible, Dr. Simmons. Please come for a second. Dr. Simmons, please come. Okay, so this is one of my other daughters from another mother, and her mother and I share a birthday. I just want to highlight that, her mama Carmen, you know that. But Dr. Kanuma Simmons, she is here in a couple of capacities, but particularly making it possible for us to get the support of the Virgin Islands, 175th Virgin Islands Emancipation Commemoration Committee, right? And we want to say thank you. Love you. Love you as well. And she'll be kind of bubbling around, and maybe we might get her to actually dance. She's a bad dancer. That's something that we know what happened in Cultural Night tomorrow. Okay, we're going to make some things happen. Again, we want to thank Allegra Christopher, Ross Keeble for just keeping some rhythms. Enjoy the balance of the day. Do not forget, give me back my CSA journal, please. I just want to make sure that nobody leaves with my CSA journal, please. Get copies at the desk, and I think we're good. Have a blessed day. All right. We'll see you again at lunchtime. Did I forget something else?